join this conversation. It's on facebook.com/JoyNews on TV, and on on Twitter it's at JoyNews on TV. Now, President Akufo-Addo has hinted his intention to make a legislative proposal to Parliament in the coming days to make August 4 the nation's Founders Day, whilst changing 21st September to Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day. But this decision has not gone down well with the CPP, who suggests it is a deliberate ploy by the president to protect his ancestry. So tell me, what's your take on this whole argument?
I think it's in the right direction, because all the people involved did well in getting us independence. It wasn't just Nkrumah alone. They worked tirelessly together. So I think what the president has done is the best way to go, so that we avoid this kind of political NDC, MPP, CPP making noise about who founded Ghana. It is just a collective thing they did, and that is the best thing we have to do as a nation.
It's true. Some people will argue that some people started the struggle of independence to some point before Nkrumah came in and took us to independence. So if we are looking for Founders Day, then it means that all those people who contributed to the attainment of independence before and during Nkrumah should all be acknowledged.
Let's also look on the other side of the opinion, whereby it's like his father and his uncles were in it. So he means, I think he's trying to do something whereby all the other people, because somebody like Sergeant Ajete Sowa, they were all in it. But now when we're talking of Founders Day, like we mention only Kwame Nkrumah's name, you don't mention their name. So he's trying to raise up those people's names. So like we all benefit from it generally.
Well, those are very interesting comments from the streets, and I believe you agree with me on that. Let's check out what you've been posting on Facebook.
Rashida Meya says, one person cannot found a nation. I support the president's view 100%. Nkrumah is not Ghana's founder, but leading member of the founders of Ghana. So he should be celebrated, so as the other heroes who sacrificed for our great nation. So Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day will be marked to remember his sacrifices and struggles for Ghana, whereas Founders Day will be marked to show recognition to the other heroes who also sacrificed and shed their blood for Ghana. Matthew says, are those ancestors not part of our history as Ghanaians? Let's stand against the president. If no, then what's this hypocrisy from the CPP? Are they not also protecting the ancestor? Are they even honoring the name of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah themselves? Michael Ashara says, in the first place, the decision to observe 21st September of every year as a public holiday, that is Founders Day, to celebrate Dr. Kwame Nkrumah alone as founder of Ghana was to some extent discriminatory. Thus, maintaining the status quo to celebrate Dr. Nkrumah as our first president and declaring August 4 also a statutory holiday to celebrate founders in general is cool. With this, one would have thought that the CPP would have appreciated the gesture rather than treated with suspicion.
And Akwesi Mafo says the CPP should be thinking about how to win even a single seat in Parliament. They're so irrelevant in today's politics and they've been holding on to their leader's name to remain relevant, all these such that they never realize they keep sinking and sinking. Judicious Odro Eric says CPP should give us a break because we even celebrate Nkrumah much than other big six, which doctor was included. We need to set the record straight as it was in history. Thanks to Nana for teaching us, we young ones, better history. And those are some of your comments on Facebook. Also, the NPP government has received great commendation for implementing the free SHS program. But just at its backyard are basic schools and the trees. One of such is the Dagbasu Basic Primary School at Walembele in the Upper West region, where snakes and chameleons pose a threat to pupils and their teachers as they hold classes under those trees. Plus, they neither have tables nor chairs for studies. Well, there are those who feel government is just using the free SHS to campaign for votes in 2020, knowing very well that the students will be 18 by then, and thereby ignoring the innocent ones at the basic level. If you have the opportunity to advise government on this, what advice would you give?
Government also have to look at the JHS. The JHS, they have to look at it so that the JSS will be free for the period. Because I think on this morning I heard on the news that with JSS, when you are going to JSS 1, you have to pay an amount of over 400 cedis, which is too much. It's too much for the parent. So when it says you're going to help the Ghana to be free for the education, you have to keep it up and then help the GSS too, so that the GSS too is also free.
I think government should rather look at the basic level. Though we are talking about free SHS now, which is good, but I'm thinking that government should also look at the basic level, as we have heard that some schools are studying under trees. I think we have come of age. Ghana have come of age, 60 years, and if you are still seeing some of our basic schools studying under trees, I think governments have something to do. Senior high school, all of us are in support of it because it's going to release parents of certain burdens, which is good. But I think that government should also look at the other side and put more priorities on it. That has to do with the basic level.
I believe that governance is about continuity. You know, the former president, John Mahama, did his best, you know, to make the infrastructure in education. So I think if now Akufo-Addo has started the free, you know, senior high, I think it's a good policy. But my worry is the sustainability of the program, because we have to be very careful. And to the government, it should be extreme careful in the education sector.
And that's not all. A lot more of your comments are on Facebook. Israel, let's check them out.
Breva Kubaji says, I would advise government not to use this policy to kill the initiative of some indefatigable headmasters. Today, most headmasters can't even take any actions about their schools. They are made to appear as stooges, such that today every single decision and every pin that falls on our SHS campuses must be communicated and waited to be acted upon by government. This is definitely going to affect quality. Barima Jakaboba says, but I thought the $19 billion from money from China, which government said was leveraging a percentage of our mineral resources for capture the building and reconstruction of classrooms at all levels of the educational sector. Or Idris Ilyasa says, so far so good, a big kudos to the NPP government. As a people, we must learn to call a spade a spade. Looking at what the NPP government has done so far, it will be very difficult for their opponents to take power from them come 2020. We expect more from the government. And
Judicious Odro Eric says this government is on point solving some of the major problems that parents are going through, and I think it's a great example set by every government that will come after this government. I rather will advise them to put more infrastructures. Bibi Yetimoni says most of the existing senior high schools do not have the needed facilities and tools to train these kids. It is sad to note that some do not even have enough classrooms. It would have been prudent on the part of this government to rather equip these schools. And Ibrahim Benito says, I think the government should be commended for implementing this policy, but also work to improve both infrastructure in the basic and secondary schools. Henry says the president should not only focus on the free SHS policy, but should also focus on the primary schools and the trees, because when the students are not able to make it during their final year, which students are they going to be placed into the senior high school under this free SHS policy? And that's the advice This is Kofi Kinata's confession song, and the amazing thing is that this song is going to be studied in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Interesting, right? Well, this was disclosed by a linguistics lecturer of the school, Mr. Peter Arthur. His reason being the lyrics contain some universalistic values that could go a long way to teach Ghanaians a great deal about the ups and downs of life. Question. Share with me your thoughts on this issue.
Oh yeah, Ghana Kofi songs is a good stuff, you know. One were the days when Nana Kwame and Padu used drivers to play songs for us to listen, you know, it was clear. And the youth need stuff like this so that they can also learn in their own language. So Kofi did a good stuff, and I think it's good.
I think the professor is really saying the right thing because you know, a lot of people drink and they drive, and it's really caused a lot of harm to family because when they drink and they drive, they had accidents and we lost a lot of souls. So I think due to this circumstance, people will stop drinking and driving.
Well, I think he was just being creative, and he just found a way of combining words together. And it's good that he ended by, you know, saying drink responsibly and all that. So in a way, it's like an advice to the youth and other people who like to drink and then drive at the same time.
Some guys really drink a lot and it ends up in death and so many things. So I think when they learn it, it's to reduce death and accidents in the community.
Very interesting comments, but making a lot of sense. Let's check out what you've been posting on Facebook.
Emilia says, I believe in Mr. Arthur. If he says it is good, then it is really good and had to be embraced. Kudos. Kofi Kinata for the great job. Tanko says, you don't have to make a news before. What about Amachi Dedes and Pedu's Kakeuku, Mom Apim Royals, and let's be serious about let's be serious, our leaders. Nana Togo says, many people are afraid to fail, so they don't try. They may dream, talk, and even plan, but okay. Kwesi Watiayepa says, I believe the university knows what is right, so some of us are not in the capacity to challenge the rationale behind it. If not, then I'll also challenge why we study music and dance in primary school.
Dojo Nosinyo says, yes, just like what has been done for Beyonce, be mindful they don't just select any senseless lyrics like artists I don't want to mention. Nasiri Ayuma says, stop taking Adonko beaters and Kakai. Oh no. James Abusanga says, if there's something good in the song to learn, why not? And Edward Miller says, it's good that our lecturers are understanding our musicians who work very hard in the high life industry. And Nat Ofedodu says, so the universities do not have anything. Oh, I mean, that's a bit harsh. And Kofi Amuyabwa says, I'm waiting for which university will use Bronya by